Like, is genocide just you kill a lot of civilians? Because that, like, that's the definition. I mean, I guess Jeffrey Dahmer committed genocide. Ted Bundy did genocide. Jack the Ripper
We
did
committed genocide. Fucking. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. I forgot. Terms of service. By the way, these terms of service are fucking. Fucking. They are, whatchamacallit? Very, very weird, I should say. Like, they're asking for access to your hardware and shit.
Fuck that shit.
You gotta accept it to play the game, though.
I have a $5,000 $5,000. I mean, I knew that the day was going to be like just personal stuff and all that shit, but like, you know. Watch the fans code, like the fans of the both streams are going to be like,
Bro, the fans of both people are gonna cope. Like, there's like 100% fact that's gonna happen. YouTube.
what I like about Hassan that he like moderates his like views, like talking to someone who's less extreme than him, so he can convert them. And then when he's like with his own spirit, he's like, yeah, I don't fuck those, fuck those Israeli, kill them all, kill the children, whatever. Which is that's your position. That's fine. I don't care, like whatever. But just say it. Don't do this pussy bullshit. I don't like it when
it's still the title is having a respectful conversation with Hassan. I think that's fucking hilarious, bro.
To Jewish people
How is it not?
leaving, sometimes voluntarily, and sometimes because their governments had made
How
deals
many
with
left voluntarily?
either Israel
How
or
many,
France.
How many of the 900,000
I'm still a
left
red
voluntarily?
player.
I don't know the exact number of how many left voluntarily,
guess.
do you?
How many
Take a
people
guess.
do you have in your server?
I would suspect that a big chunk of them, you're going to say, did not leave
many have
voluntarily, but that is
14?
not the case.
Well, you're
Most of
lying
them
and
left
you're fucking
voluntarily,
dead
Ethan.
wrong. You brought up the fact that I talked about what happened in Iraq. So let me give you a timeline of what happened in Iraq. 1932, they gain independence. 1934, Hebrew is banned. Jews are fired from government positions. 1938, Zionist activity is outlawed. Crimes as trivial as possessing a biblical map of the Holy Land.
How many are in your server?
The Farhud pogrom, inspired by neo-Nazis, Rashid al-Khalini killed
Mr.
180
Raptor.
Jews. Hundreds were injured. Widespread looting, property damage. 1947, Jews were banned from immigrating because they didn't want them to go strengthen the state of Israel, and they wanted to hold them prisoners against Israel and the West. In 1948, the war begins. Jewish banks were forbidden to transact with foreign countries. Jews were arrested for Zionist activity, for economic crimes. They were fines that were paid to the Ministry of Defense. In 1949, a month after taking office, the British learned that they were planning to expel the Jews from Iraq before they even left. Does this sound like voluntary?
Your server is
Does this sound
full,
voluntary?
Jabril.
Does that sound
Okay,
voluntary?
I sent you a
the
clip.
heard
server
me?
shit.
Oh.
Oh
It
my
is?
God!
Is
Please.
an Iraqi Jew by the name of Avi Shlaim.
Yeah, I love this. Let's listen to him.
Okay, let's listen to it.
Yeah, because Hassan, he lied. He said that the Jews, after when Israel was established, the Jews voluntarily like left the Arab countries. But then Ethan's reading out like showing that the Arab countries expelled them because of their Jewishness.
The Jews in Iraq, 5
Yeah.
bombs exploded in Jewish sites. The series of bombs created a panic which led more and more Jews to register to leave the country. I met an elderly
Join
friend
my,
of my
Why are
mother's,
you wearing that
an
ridiculous
Iraqi
outfit?
Jew called
My
Yaakov
thing.
Karkukli, who had been in the
My
Zionist
server.
underground. One member of his group, Yosef
Oh,
Basri,
good.
a very, very intelligent Jewish lawyer, and his assistant Shalom Saleh Shalom were responsible.
Shalom is really is the most Jewish name I've ever heard.
Ashby's controller was an Israeli intelligence officer.
And so
Max
let's grant that what he's saying is true, and that 3 of the 5 bombs were done by Zionists, right? How does that explain 150,000 people leaving the fucking country? What? Thousands of years of civilization that have been there, 2,000 years, just picking up and leaving, almost virtually gone. How does that explain that?
How can we help
Why
you?
is it that
bombs?
the Israeli government, why is it the Israeli government benefited from creating instability and making it seem as though these countries were uninhabitable? And why do you think that, despite the fact that Iraq and numerous other countries have offered Israelis, or Jews, a right to return,
because they were being
failed on the Israeli front for numerous reasons?
Let me tell you an inconvenient fact for you, Hassan.
That conclusion.
Let me tell you an inconvenient fact.
I wonder why that happened.
Before
why
the bombs
Israel
went off,
being established?
Before the bombs went off, 100,000 of the 125 Jews were already registered to leave.
I'm on the clock.
Do you want to explain
what you
that?
Want? Some wheels?
Yes. Jews wanted to go to Israel, Ethan. They liked the idea
so let
of
me hear
going
what
to
okay,
Israel.
so
You like Israel.
Yeah, you're a
What
liar.
do you
You're a disgusting fucking propagandist liar. Here's what Avi Schleim actually
My
said.
research I established
Scumbag.
that one bomb was logged 100.
Yeah, so he's misconstruing and taking the guy out of context, Hassan.
In the Istiklal Party, which wanted to expel the Jews from Iraq and confiscate their properties. And another bomb another hand grenade was lobbed into the Masoud Shem Tov synagogue, and there 4 people were killed. And he was a criminal
Can you join my server or no?
against the Jews, and it had nothing to do with the Mossad.
Yeah, mine's
Did
full.
you hear that? The first 2 had nothing to do with the Mossad. But let's continue to listen to the respected scholar Avi Schleim, you fucking liar.
Hold on.
No, you listen to this fucking historian.
Yes,
you said they left by choice. They left because of Zionism. They left because they were being threatened. Let's hear what your respected historian has to say, you liar.
Yeah, because Hassan's making it sound like the Jews voluntarily left, but they were actually threatened by the Middle Eastern countries. So he's creating his own pseudo-history.
It was not the bombs. It was persecution by the government. And I concede that.
Yeah.
It's a part of my argument that the bombs were the main reason for the liquidation of
What?
this
Why am I not a red
community.
player
My
anymore?
answer to my Zionist critics is, even if I knew for certain that not a single Iraqi Jew left Iraq to go to Israel because of the bombs, I would still think this is a real indictment of the state of Israel, because Israel was created to provide a safe haven for Jews, not to be harassing and threatening Jews in other countries.
By the way, he said, and I'll quote it for you, "We did not leave Iraq because we were Zionists. We left because we were no longer safe." He wrote that in his book, 3 Worlds. Have you read that book?
No, because Hassan doesn't
okay,
read.
Well, you're using a lot of source from it. It's a book that he wrote about his migration.
It's not the only book he wrote about this. But go on.
Have you read any of the other ones?
Yes.
Really? Which ones?
No, he hasn't. He's lying.
It's from the Iron Wall.
Hassan doesn't read anything. Why is he fucking lying?
He writes about his time in Iraq. He writes about his time in Israel. He writes about his time in the UK. In 3 Worlds, he writes about his own family.
I've watched Hassan's videos. Like, he literally gets his sources from YouTube and Twitter threads, and that's it.
They were not proud Zionist migrations. They were leaving out of fear.
If he gets his information from Twitter,
he said,
he's fucking stupid. He's beyond stupid.
And TikTok, I forgot about TikTok. Yeah, he also got a lot of.
TikTok, he's full brain rot, man. He's full brain rot.
By the way.
Yeah, because you think he supports your claim.
Anybody who gets their evidence from TikTok is full brain rot.
He absolutely
Contend
does.
with what I said.
Hold on.
On Palestine, Israel. On some other stuff, he might actually, like on Trump stuff, he may read some articles here and there or whatever. So, kind of ironic.
Explain what he meant by saying we didn't leave because we were Zionists. We left because we were no longer safe.
Okay.
Explain to me.
I can't wait to bring up Avi Schleim on the broadcast to make you fucking look like a dumbass.
I can't wait to. And now explain what he means by that. We did not leave Iraq because we were Zionists. We left because we were no longer safe.
Are not Palestinian. You fucking moron.
He's yelling
yeah,
now.
But they're both Arabs.
What?
He's yelling
they're
now.
Both Arabs.
They left movements that arise out of
You are out of your mind.
It's not about Palestinians.
Okay, so what did the Jews in Iraq have to do with fucking Israel?
The ones
You
who
bigot.
actually fucking
You are
terrorize the
so out of
Palestinians.
your mind.
And then Iraqis.
See
Hassan is screaming now.
Yeah, you know how you said he was calm? And not anymore.
Indication for why, or a comparison as to why Israel had to do the Nakba.
Do you think
You
that...
fucking racist piece of shit.
Thanks, son.
Do you think Iraq?
Do you
want
want...
all Arabs have one fucking mind?
Why the
Ethan has now regained
fuck
control.
the Jews leaving Iraq and
You can win it with just
Of
a
course
spin
there were.
We're on GTA 1.
Why?
I've never
Because
said that there
why?
were no
Answer
Iraqi
the question.
Jews that left
You want to
Iraq
call
in
me
fear.
racist? Why were Iraqi Jews leaving to go to Israel?
Because you're a fucking moron.
That's
who
why
doesn't
they left?
understand
They
that
left
Iraq
because I'm
is
a
not
fucking moron?
Palestine, that Arabs are
Hassan,
not
you
one-minded.
coward.
That there
You
were
coward.
That's Hassan's history. Why did the Jews leave Iraq? Because Ethan was a fucking moron.
Why did the Iraqi Jews leave Iraq?
I'm trying to join, so it's taking a while.
Anti-Semitism. They hated Jewish people that had nothing to do with Israel. They were forced to leave. They were chased out. They lived there for thousands of years. They had businesses, they had homes, and they were forced and abandoned.
Hundreds of years, technically. I mean, it could depend. Some might be there for thousands, some might be there hundreds,
if they had
whatever.
nothing to do with Zionism or Israel. Why?
Because settler colonialism
That has
was already
nothing to do
taking
with that,
place
you
in
absolute
British
fucking
mandate
dumbass.
Palestine, Ethan.
What does that have to do with the Iraqi Jews?
Do you think the Aliyahs were happening?
So it was
initially?
there.
Do you
So
think
you're
the Aliyahs
blaming
were
them? Are you
happening
blaming the
in
Iraqi
one-
Jews who had nothing to do with it? What the fuck is your point? You call me
I'm not
racist.
justifying the racism. I'm not justifying it. You're not
Yes, you
comprehending
are.
my point.
They left
I've never justified
because
that.
the Iraq
And I've
turned
also
on them after
openly
1948.
recognized- Ethan,
You're materially
I
wrong.
have
You're a
openly
liar.
recognized that there were numerous reasons why other countries, I know, hard concept, all Arab,
Yeah.
they all have the same
I know, let's go
other
over them,
countries and their
genius.
pan-Arabic nationalist movements as states
Let's
were
go over
being
them.
designed
In Egypt,
mostly by Western
You want to talk
nations.
facts? Let's talk facts.
Ethan,
And Egypt.
you got fucking a ChatGPT summary. Let me explain
Hey, Hassan,
to you.
let
You
me-
can fucking not look like a
ChatGPT.
dumbass.
Okay, do you want to listen or do you just want to add home?
No, I want to tell you my perspective.
you wanna
This is
talk.
supposed
That's
to
the
be
problem.
a-
You don't
an
wanna
honest
listen.
reminder.
You've talked
You're
for
A
supposed to be
respectful
attacking my
conversation,
perspective.
remember.
You called me
Let me
racist, bro.
clarify
Then
my
you need to do is
position
shut the
so you
fuck
can
up and
understand.
listen to me talk, okay? The Iraqi Jews.
Bro, every time Ethan says that, he like puts his chin up and put his lips out. It looks so.
In Iraq, the
It
Iraqis
looks
turned
so
on them.
Wait, who,
fucking.
Ethan or
What happened
Hassan?
in
Yeah,
1948?
Ethan.
It had nothing to do with them. So if you want to blame the Jews
It's
for
not
their
just
own anti-Semitism,
1948.
you go
It's
right
not
ahead.
just
But that's
1948.
racism. Now let's talk about
I
Egypt.
also recognize that.
No, you're not. You are absolutely not. In Egypt, 75,000 Jews were displaced. Okay? Following anti-Jewish
Wow,
riots
that's
and
70,000? I didn't know it was that high.
Is Egypt
Damn.
Palestinians?
They just all wanted to leave
Palestinians.
coincidentally,
Why
Jackson.
were the
It was just a
Palestinians
coincidence.
never allowed to
do with that.
return?
They were forced to go there by the
Every single
Arab
one of these
countries.
countries have offered the Jews that were expelled or left on their own
It's time to leave
voluntarily.
them.
These are completely separate
Nobody's
countries.
justifying the
You are
Nakba.
packaging them together
No,
to
no one
make
is
a
justifying the
horrifying
Nakba. I'm
position.
explaining how it's fucking insanely racist to discredit the plight, the running
No, you're
of
fucking racist because I
discrimination.
don't discredit the plight.
But
I
I'm
think you're-
not justifying the Nakba. You seem to be justifying why Jews were chased out of their home country.
No, I'm not, Ethan.
Why'd they leave?
I'm not
Why'd they
justifying
leave?
that at all.
Why'd
You
they
think
leave?
That, you think that because you want to drive home a point that
Why
this
did
is
they leave their
anti-Semitic.
communities that have been
You
there
are
for
making-
2,000 years, leaving their money, their
You
businesses,
will
their
never
homes?
understand.
Why did
I
they
don't think
leave?
you'll understand. Do you think Iraq is Palestine? Do you think Egypt is Palestine?
Nobody's
Do you
defending the
do you
Nakba.
Do you think that all Arabs are operating on antiquated anti-Semitism? And if your answer is yes,
you're
why the
complete-
fuck did Jews find the Ottoman Empire to be a safe haven for
Where's the
fucking
Ottoman
hundreds
Empire?
of years?
Let's talk
when
about the last
when
100 years.
The Ottoman Empire was Turkish, it wasn't Arab.
The empire was great for the Jews.
What are
Let's
you
talk about the
talking
last
about?
100 years. Let's talk about 1948. Anti-Jewish
Yeah, of course,
riots
of course.
broke out.
That analogy doesn't
After the
even
war,
work.
Hassan, you need to shut the fuck up and listen, okay? After the war, okay, in 1948, there was anti-Jewish riots and bombs in Egypt. Why was that? Because
You
the
joined or
Israel
someone
was
Jews brought
joined.
it on themselves following the establishment of the
Who
I
joined?
never made that inference. What are you
I
talking
think
about?
Juan joined me.
No,
No,
I
you
didn't.
joined
I did not
me.
make that inference at all.
I did?
So they
Okay.
left
Yeah.
because Zionism.
No,
I'm just
Ethan,
drunk right
if
now.
you were to listen to my words, and I use them very carefully, even though I get
Yes,
heated
careful,
sometimes.
Right.
Okay? Egypt, Iraq, Morocco, each of these countries
That's me, baby.
lived in the MENA region all the way to the Levant.
Morocco, your
had
country.
different Some of them were direct.
All right, let's see if he knows your country better than you.
You are a tangibly, historically proven
wait,
liar. And I feel
I just said that some of them were because of
Yeah,
the
I see
You're
Ethan
not
doing that
hearing
thing to
anything
his
I'm saying.
chin.
You're so
You see it, bro? He keeps doing that.
The amount that left because of Zionism was minute. They were chased out.
He keeps
They were
doing
forced
it.
to become Zionists by their oppressors because they had nowhere else to go. In Egypt, following the establishment of Israel in May 1948,
Ethan, none of these countries are Palestine.
that is
None of
an
these
insanely
countries,
irrelevant
these countries
point. A series of bombs
You
targeted
can't
Jewish
make a
areas in
comparison
Cairo
between
between
a
June and
planned ethnic
September.
cleansing campaign
They
and
killed
other
70
countries.
Jews,
That's my point.
injured 200.
A respectful conversation.
Confiscated Jewish-owned businesses and
Yep.
synagogues were attacked and destroyed. Okay?
I'm just gonna keep repeating that because it's like.
1956, my worst crisis.
One is
1956.
That's why I kept repeating it last when we were playing Marvel Rivals, because it's supposed to be a respectful conversation.
Falsely misplaced hostility.
25,000 Jews were
from
expelled.
other countries.
So are you blaming
don't have
them?
to- You don't understand
Hold on.
this,
Are you
and
blaming
will
the
never
Jews for
understand this,
getting?
I don't think.
Are you blaming the Jews for being expelled from Egypt? 25,000 of them.
No, Ethan.
Okay.
If you listen to my words, you would understand.
So what is it I exaggerated about? 900,000 Jews were displaced.
Because you are making a comparison with different countries.
No, I'm not.
Versus one singular force that planned an extermination campaign, planned an ethnic cleansing campaign.
You know what I like about Hassan? Like, I like how he's very nuanced about the Arab countries, where it's like, oh, there's like different reasonings and complexity, but when it comes to Israel, there's no complexity. Israel's evil, disgusting, genocidal. Like, I find it ironic that he adds charitability towards one side and doesn't give it to the other side.
Bro, don't the Arab countries still disrespect women and like all that?
Oh, no, it depends. I mean, that depends. I mean, like, there's women have more rights than they ever have before now.
Donating their
Like,
property
you know.
to the Egyptian state.
They still can't like go outside showing themselves, right?
No, that's false. No, that's false. No,
On the independence.
that's not true.
Palestine. They're not.
Okay.
They're just
No, that's just like-
They're not the
Okay,
same
right.
That's
fucking
Western
people.
propaganda.
My point is very simple. They were expelled.
No, women have, like, they can own
Because of
their own
anti-Semitism.
businesses, they can get divorces, they can do their own things. Like,
Sorry,
they
what
don't
is
need
wrong
to.
about
Half of
that?
these countries
What
that
is
you're
wrong
pointing
with
Like, most of these Arab countries, they don't even need to wear the hijab anymore. They could just have no head covering.
French. By
They
the
were-
English and French
They were
colonial
expelled.
occupations. What are you talking
Oh,
about?
they don't have to
Expelled
wear
because of
a
anti-Semitism.
hijab
What
anymore?
did I say wrong?
No. In Morocco, they don't wear hijab. They, like, most women in Morocco don't even wear hijab. It's an option.
Algeria was under
what about,
French
like-
occupation. It is
All the Arab countries, all the Arab countries except the Gulf. So the Arabia, like Saudi Arabia, Oman, those countries, and they have to wear hijab and head covering. But like in the Egypt, Syria, Iraq, they don't have requirements. You can not wear one, and that's fine. Now there might be some families that force their children, so there might be some families that do that, but like the government doesn't force the women to wear the hijab or head covering or whatever. So.
Genocide, right? The Turkish,
And most families don't do that. They don't force their children, so.
The forces and the Ottoman genocide that they conducted, a mass extermination campaign, is because other fucking random countries were
No,
Armenians
Iraq happened after
were also
independence and
getting
as of
equally
Jerusalem.
dispelled. Turks were getting dispelled in other countries.
The pogrom
It's
happened as a
ironically the same fucking thing that that's
result
the way
of
that
the
it was
war,
taught in the past. That it was a
By the way,
it
did
was
you
a
say-
necessary voluntary migration.
By the way, did you
because
Oh my God, bro! Did you say Anne Frank died before she could resist? I don't know if that was a fever dream.
Jackson, can you
I'm
pause
saying
it for a
that,
quick
like,
second?
if you
Mute
have
it,
an issue
or
with
just
Anne
mute it.
Frank,
Not
you
pause
should-
it. Just
I was
mute
gonna
it.
say, I'm a
Yeah,
mute.
yeah. So basically, like, the context is like, because Hassan, like, what Ethan's trying to explain here is that there was a mass expelling of Jews in these Arab countries, right? And Hassan's just making it sound, and that was during the time when Israel was established, which was in 1948 to 1949. And coincidentally, at that same time period, you saw like nearly 900,000 Jews fleeing these Arab countries, so almost 1 million Jews fleeing the country, these Arab countries, right? And the reasons why were a lot. There was some of it where Hassan is correct. There is like some nuance where there are Jews who left because they just wanted to go to Israel, right? That is true, but there are also a lot of Jews who left because they were forced to leave because the governments of these countries persecuted them, right? So it's like Hassan's not entirely wrong, but like
he's also trying to neglect the truth, which is that a lot of Jews were expelled from these Arab countries and forced to go to Israel. So, you know, he's not showing the true part. And then Hassan is also using his argument, oh, if they were so tolerant towards Jews, how come we saw peace under the Ottoman Empire? And it's like, number one, during the end of the Ottoman Empire, you did see persecution of minorities. I mean, that's why you had the Armenian genocide. But number two, even then, for the majority of the Ottoman Empire, yes, it was a much safer place for Jews than the Christian world. That's true, but the Ottomans was controlled by the Turks. The Turks are Muslim, but they're not Arabs, so, you know, they weren't like, it wasn't Arabs who were like, because he said if Arabs were so brutal to Jews, you know, then how come but Ottoman Empire is Turkish. I mean, Hassan, you're Turkish too. You should know this. So, it was run by different management. So the argument fails either way.
Speaking of, since we're talking about the Middle East, I'm doing the Stand Your Ground in the desert area of GTA.
Base against the Israeli Palestinians, where the Palestinians want to fight the Israelis.
There's no reason why you are a radical fucking propagandist liar.
What a nice thing to unmute on. It's definitely a respectful debate.
Self-determination and the Israelis' right to have secure borders. As long as you ignore that, there will always be war. Palestinians will always die, and you will continue to make money from it. Operation Magic Carpet. Jews were secretly airlifted to Israel due to rising hostility. 50,000.
It's so interesting
50,000 were relocated in Tunisia.
The PLO did recognize that Jewish harm, as a matter of fact. The PLO did recognize that, and they wanted those countries to actually do a right to return for all Jews. Why did Israel stop that from happening, Ethan? Don't you think that Zionism is the problem here?
Avi Schleim said,
oh,
quote,
what happened? They didn't fucking send you that clip?
Oh,
I don't know about that part,
so you can get to the
Yasser Arafat, the people that don't care about Jewish plight, actually did see
the guy who oversaw the second Intifada. What the fuck are you on about?
To be able to go back and do a right to return if they wanted to do so into their nation.
Like, here's the thing, there are things that Hassan could be saying where I might not understand, because I'm not like a full expert in the Israeli-Palestinian conflict, and I haven't looked into it for like a year now, so, you know, like, so I'm just saying, like, if there's something that he says and I don't respond, like, I can't verify every claim.
You're late and you still got a bunch of stuff right over Hassan.
Of the 900,000, the vast majority left because they
because I was researching it when the October 7th stuff happened, the Israeli-Palestine stuff happened, you know. And, you know, Hassan's gonna get mad from me for saying this, but I watched Destiny streams as well. I was brainwashed by Destiny. He shoved the Illuminati in my throat, and I was like, oh my god. But jokes aside, Destiny did like a full-on 6-month research, reading like, starting with Wikipedia, then going to like books and reading books by historians and shit. So Destiny did like a full-on reading of like the sources, of PDF files, of historians. So that's why Hassan doesn't want to debate Destiny, because Destiny knows about the Israeli-Palestinian conflict inside and out.
Over and over again, but you're too busy trying to get a gotcha here, so you can fucking farm a clip. But everyone's still thinking you're a fucking loser.
Why do you have to call it PDF?
Just shut up and listen. You want to actually hear my
PDF, it's a file where you have the...
I know.
Okay.
You know what that also stands for? Because you can't really say the word.
Israel sees that as a complementary tool.
You could say documents.
Documents, yeah.
All Jews to Israel, or at least make Jews in the Western world that are outside of Israel, Jews in diaspora, support Israel, because it gives
The problem with Ethan is, like, Ethan says, like, Israel's committing a genocide, and if that's true, I mean, like, it makes sense why the Palestinians would use brute force, right? So that's the problem with Ethan. That's why Ethan destroys himself this argument. If Ethan, like, actually did more research, you find it's not even true. Like, it's not even remotely true. But people believe it anyway, so it's like, there's no way to, you know, argue against it, especially against Gen Z. My generation's brainwashed by this fucking Israel-Palestine stuff, so...
If you think that that is the entirety of my perspective on this matter,
illuminate me.
You please need to stop talking and listen to the
listen, Hassan.
times that I've talked about this.
Oh, just explain yourself.
I'm trying.
I just watched a clip of you being pretty dismissive about the flight. And by the way, you've done it this whole time. You say
I mean, to be fair,
Zionism was
Ethan has
always
interrupted
wrong.
Hassan a lot of times where, like, Hassan was trying to explain himself. So, I mean, you know, like, both sides have been shouting at each other, and, you know, it's like...
that's not Israel, so that they can actually go and either support Israel.
Oh yeah, I'm
if they're not
definitely
in
killing
Israel,
this
or just
dude.
move to
He has the
Israel.
name of
That
my
is the entire
stepdad
point.
that I hate.
That is what
fuck him.
Jabotinsky wanted, that is what Herzl wanted, and that is precisely what Benjamin Netanyahu wants as well. So in terms of my explanation, or what I come across as dismissive,
that was literally his
the
PlayStation
role
name,
that Israel
too.
itself played in this process,
was
because it was a
minuscule.
mutually beneficial relationship,
Minuscule.
that anti-Semitic pogrom.
Minuscule. What you fail to acknowledge is that the Jews were forced to become Zionists, not by choice, but by necessity, because the Arab countries turned on them after the war and forced them to go to the only state that they could go to.
It's a necessity for Israel to exist, which
What?
is what your position is, right?
No, it's not about what was allowed or not. The Arabs created a million Zionists because they're anti-Semitic.
Almost a million.
After the War of 1948 and fucking the rise of Arab nationalism. Do you deny that?
You brought up
Do you deny what I just said?
Wait, say it again.
You deny?
Yeah, see, Hassan doesn't want to own up to that because there was pretty much half or the majority of the Jews that went to Israel from the Middle East were because they were expelled by the Arabs because of the whole Israel stuff. So,
by choice, but by
and he doesn't want to admit that.
the vast majority.
He wants to make it sound like they just wanted to go for a vacation. They just wanted to go to Israel out of choice, voluntarily.
There you go.
There you go. What? That's my point. Are you okay?
I rest my case.
Okay, well, I mean,
Rest your case. He hasn't even made a case.
What kind of racist nonsense
That's
you're fucking chirping
unbelievable,
on. That was
bro.
my entire
It's
point.
historic.
Thank you.
I mean, it's historical. You don't know anything of what you're talking about. Abby Schleim, once again, because you don't want to contend.
Like Hassan, he'll just link shit that he does not do any research on, and like, if you're not like well versed in the topic, he sounds like he knows a decent amount, but he really has no fucking clue. But you know, there's so much information.
We just made him leave.
They kicked his ass out. I'm not saying fucking Arabs. There's a reason for it. There was a rise in Arab nationalism following the 1948 war. They blamed their own
I was the last one to kill him, right?
for what Israel did. That's anti-Semitism. They had nothing to do. Do you think the Iraqi Jews left their 2,000-year-old communities, left their businesses, left their houses because they wanted to go to Israel? Are you fucking mad?
Yeah, they just wanted to go voluntarily.
Ethan,
you
remember
deny.
a while back?
It wasn't just a coincidence. 900,000. Coincidentally.
Between Islamophobia and
Absolutely a double standard, and you exhibit it, my friend.
And you're participating in it right now without even recognizing that you're doing so.
Islamophobia.
I'm just telling you literally what happened.
Historical racism.
Ethan throwing
Do
the...
people never get racist?
One of our areas.
Oh, I love this
People never
hotel.
be
So
I'm
luxurious.
explaining why. I'm
Wow.
not blaming anyone, but I'm just
They make a lot of money
One
from
of our
it.
areas where we think our
the rise of Arab nationalism created a lot of anti-Semitism, and that's why the vast majority of the Jews, the 900,000 of them, were forced to immigrate. That's a fact.
But it's not as
That's a
good as the
historical
gun
fact.
store, let's be real.
Ethan, I'm sorry to say this, and I don't know if your audience gets this as well.
Hassan is
but
not
what you
sorry to
just
say
said
anything, let's be
earlier
real.
Is
I'm
an
listening.
accurate reflection of history. Is
How do you know that?
pure racism.
How do you know that?
That's so ironic that Hassan said that. It's not an accurate representation of history. Like, Hassan's literally the king of manipulating history.
Arab countries
Absolutely.
with their own version of pan-Arabic nationalism.
They kicked them
Half
out.
of them were already still controlled, by the way, by fucking European colonial powers like Vichy France.
That was literally just in
signing the
Tunisia,
Moroccan
okay?
expulsion program, and you're using that as a similarity.
Oh, Jackson, pause real quick.
The planned expulsion.
What?
You know, mute. You know what I mean? Yeah, mute. I just want to be very clear for anyone who watches later on. Like, I'm not saying that Israel is the good guy, Palestine is the bad guy, because I don't believe in objective morals. But even ignoring that, and what we colloquially understand as good or bad, both sides, you could find both sides you could find Israel doing a lot of things, whether it could be certain war crimes that they did, even within the recent conflict. Like, at one time, Israel drone strike and killed like a bunch of civilians in this that was delivering medical aid, and it wasn't like really necessary, and it was basically like under some false pretense that it was like a terrorist in the vehicle, whatever. So I'm not saying Israel's this like innocent country that does no wrong. My whole and I'm not saying the Palestinians have no reason to be angry, no reason to be mad. I'm just simply giving the saying that like the majority of instances, it's been a situation where Israel had to defend itself, and then you have the Arabs who want to invade Israel. Then when the Arabs gave up, it's the Palestinians who have like not wanting to like give up, not wanting to compromise at all, because the Palestinians want the entirety of Israel to themselves. And every time the the Israelis and Palestinians they come to a peace, the Palestinians in the Gaza Strip or Hamas more specifically is trying to violate it. They're like Hamas is trying to always attack Israel over and over and over again, right? So I'm not saying like there's a good guy, a bad guy. I'm just saying that like one side is like deliberately like breaking deals more and more and more. That's all I'm saying. So.
Yeah.
Really? The Iraqi Jews can go back to their home tomorrow.
I think we can do that.
The Egyptian Jews can go back to their homes tomorrow.
Absolutely.
That is insane.
I would love to see Jews just flood into Iraq. Let's see what Iraqis think about that. The Iraqis, they would be so happy.
They definitely won't try to.
Their lost assets, their lost property.
They'll commit a real genocide.
Yeah.
They'll show the real definition of genocide.
They'll show the real word of racism too.
Out this 76-year-long, drawn-out apartheid structure, there were numerous instances where, yes, there was.
You know what to do? Kill the driver! Kill the driver! Kill the driver of the fire truck!
Restitution for the homes that they lost in the process. So yes, you're wrong. You simply don't know the facts. You are wrong.
You won't say what fact I'm getting wrong.
I just told you.
Did the vast majority of Jews immigrate to Israel following 1948 because of Zionism or because of anti-Semitism?
No, don't run away
Answer
from
the
the point,
fucking
because
question.
I don't discount anti-Semitism as a direct consequence of pan-Arabic nationalism that took place in numerous countries.
Answer the
I have
question.
issues with your comparison.
Thank you.
Okay?
Who's comparing? You keep saying that. I'm not talking about the Nakba. I'm talking about your unwillingness to recognize Jewish plight. And really
importantly, to say
I just called the emergency service to get a fire.
We could get too far. You can get too.
Why would you bring up that fact?
Beautiful little narrative.
Why would you? So what? Why did you bring that fact up right after you talked about the 1948 war?
Because the point is that two people were traumatized.
I think that
there was two people that were traumatized. There was two people that were displaced unfairly. It was the Palestinians
and Israelis.
The Middle Eastern
there were Palestinians who were displaced by Israelis.
They have trauma.
That's true.
You failed to acknowledge one.
But he only wants to acknowledge one trauma. He doesn't want to acknowledge the other side. That's the difference.
I acknowledge both groups.
You're all lives matter in the Nakba.
What? That isn't.
That's what you're doing. And you're also attributing.
How? How am I doing that?
You're attributing.
They're getting away.
In different countries.
At the same time, following 1948, pan-Arab nationalism. You said that yourself.
Shoot them off.
5 Arab countries were defeated in 1948, and they turned super fucking anti-Semitic as a result. They became ultra-nationalist Arabs. It became popular as Israel.
I mean, to be fair, there was always anti-Semitic views in the Arab world. It just got worse after Israel was established.
Also failed to recognize that Iraq.
Yeah, well, bigotry, because Jew is not like a race, not like a skin tone. But you know what I mean. They say racism.
How many Jews live in Iraq? How many Jews?
No, what I'm saying is like there's always been like this anti-Jewish hate in the Arab world. I'm just saying that like it got worse because of Israel. When Israel was established, it got worse.
Why would it?
Virtually none. Where'd they go? If it was so fucking great for them.
Oh, dude, this NPC is clever as fuck. Holy shit.
Holy
Virtually
fuck.
0 Jews live outside of Israel in the Middle East. Why?
Bro, he is
You don't
dipping.
think that none of them wanted to fucking stay at home? None of them.
Because there was a religious
Shoot the
ethno-supremacist
driver.
state that was backed
there you
by
go.
a lot of Western
That's
states
the
as a
insane
direct
fucking
destabilizer in the
sweeping
fucking
that you're
region
discrediting.
with mass migration happening.
You know what? I'm just
especially,
gonna sweep
of
our
course,
shotgun.
mass migration happening, and then in the aftermath of the Holocaust with a shit ton more refugees coming in, was a much more viable state for them.
Here's the problem.
The viability of said state, of course,
Take the firefighter.
is
Take the
partially a
firefighter.
consequence
Take the
of
fire. Take him. There's one guy. There's one guy.
Don't want to
Go, drive. You see that guy? He's still there.
Problem, because people conflate Zionism with
He's
Judaism.
still there. The guy on the. You have one guy with you.
Oh, what for? I didn't even see that.
The fucking Arabs for being racist. Why do you deny the Jewish trauma?
Let's
Why do
go.
you deny the 900,000 traumatized Jews?
You're going on quite a ride,
Including, by the
buddy.
way,
I don't want to hose. I was gonna hose him, but I was like, nah, let's
Yeah,
leave
hose him.
him.
you didn't leave Iraq Because
No, leave them
we
for
were
now.
Zionists. We left because we were
have a-
He
afraid.
wants to go on the full line.
Are you hearing that?
Go somewhere very high and jump and make him fall.
The English for the Holocaust?
I know exactly where to go.
Who did the Holocaust, Ethan?
Just fucking make your point. I'm not playing this silly game.
Come on, who did the Holocaust? Just say it.
Make
It was
your
the
point, dude.
Palestinians.
I'm not a fucking
Why not? I'm asking you a question. It's a super simple question.
Avi Schlein said we left Iraq
I asked
because.
you who was responsible for the Holocaust.
Why would I answer
Which
such a
nation?
stupid rhetorical question? Just make your point.
Well, you know the answer to this, right? Like, come on, what are you looking at on your fucking computer?
Why does
like,
Hassan
which
wanna-
country is responsible for the Holocaust?
Fucking answer.
Because he has like a gotcha ready or something like
I
that.
would appreciate if
Wait,
you.
what is happening? Dude, when you already, okay, whatever. You
I would
said already-
appreciate if you would just
you already
listen to
said-
one thing I
You
would
already
say.
said that it wasn't the English, right? It's not the responsibility of the British that the Holocaust happened, right? You understand that? You recognize that,
Gotcha, bitch.
right?
Well, I would say the nation most directly guilty for the Holocaust was probably Nazi Germany.
Okay. Did you just read that from your laptop?
No, I'm eloquent, unlike your dumbass.
I mean, yes, it is.
No, God, I'm like your dumbass.
I'm fabulous, bitch.
Oh, you guys want to fight? You guys want to play?
There was plenty of
Okay.
anti-Semitism in England
Let's
too.
play, motherfuckers. I got my water hose over here.
All of Europe is responsible for the Holocaust.
Concentration camps in
But
the
you
UK.
say all.
No
Europe-
This is
way!
what happens.
They're still taking out in the water!
No Jews in the Middle East.
He's still there?
I literally just drove through the water where his head went under and he's still on. Oh no, now he's not.
Okay.
Because I just
Avi Schlein
ruined
said they did not
fire
leave
truck,
Iraq
but he stayed
because they were
on.
Zionists. They left because they were afraid.
Yes.
You are denying his
Hi.
family's trauma. You are
I'm gonna pick
blaming
you up.
his family's trauma
Okay.
on
Will you talk
Zionists
to him?
and
Will
not.
you talk to him about this?
Sure. I mean, he's going to agree with me.
If
I
you're
read
so
it from his
confident-
fucking
If you're so
book.
confident in everything, if you're so confident in all of this, okay, that would be great. All right, perfect. Okay.
So I listen. I'll debate all these people instead of you. I have time. Unfortunately, like I said, it's getting late, so I just want to make one last point before we go, which is that always
Aw,
remember.
Ethan's a
Hassan,
coward.
when
What a
people
pussy.
Criticize me. I watch
Running
it on
away.
my stream by myself live. I'm like a
He tried to
bitch-made
kill me.
coward like yourself who needs someone to hold your hand, make all the excuses in the world to avoid. You, my friend, are
Jackson Roadkill.
Yep.
You know, it's funny that right next to the area you actually did get roadkill.
hesitation. But you know why? Because I'm not a liar.
When we were playing
I don't have to
Abdil?
think about the shit that
Oh,
I
yeah.
say. Justify
You
it.
think this-
You lied. That's why you can't do it,
If you
because
think
you'll get
this
caught in those lies. I wait.
5-hour endeavor made you look good, then congratulations.
You don't
okay?
think it was good that you don't think that it was a supreme confidence that I responded to it immediately live?
Ethan, it took you 4 months to
What?
actually entertain the notion of
I
having a
said
conversation
anytime
with me.
you
I don't give a
want,
fuck about
dipshit.
watching YouTube videos. I don't know why you think that I'm
You watch
afraid of
11
watching your
hate
fucking
videos on
YouTube
your
video.
channel. 11 hate videos. I've watched zero about you, Hassan. Do you want to actually discuss
You
who's the
made
coward?
the hate videos, dumbass! Your fucking community is the hate
You
community.
made the whole
Why
hate
the fuck would
videos.
you have to watch hate videos or whatever? You were the
Hassan,
one who was
just
doing
remember,
it.
when criticism comes, I confront it.
Well, thank you for
When
backtracking
criticism
on
comes
at
to
least 7
you,
of the points.
you
Maybe
hide
you should
from
go
it.
through the context puke one more time so we can
If
continue.
you wanna watch
we can
it-
continue this conversation later.
If you
Okay.
want, listen, if you
I'll
want to
hold your
watch
hand
it,
through all the other dumb shit that you said in it. It's not because I'm afraid. It's because you were crying.
no,
because
it
you
is
wouldn't-
definitely because
I
you're
wouldn't
afraid.
watch it.
Why is it you didn't pull? Why is it you love Ban Apanada, but when he makes a video criticizing you, you say I'm not watching that?
Because I think it's. You wanna know why? Because I think it's fucking unproductive
To watch
literally-
criticism of me, you fucking coward. What are you
Yeah,
saying?
because you're fucking presenting yourself and developing an audience that is literally, without
I
even
didn't know you were-
realizing it, because they are
Oh,
only
okay.
drama obsessed, without realizing it, they're literally positioning themselves to be pro-Israel, to repeat pro-Israel talking points. Yes, that is the only reason why I started
you will
talking
not
about
point
you,
out.
because you went on a fucking deplatforming campaign.
All right,
Why
kill
did
me
you
and
not
then
watch
we'll
Bad
have
Apanada's
fair
video
fight.
about you? You watched all of it?
Give you
You did
one kill
110
for free.
Instagram stories on me,
You're-
Ethan,
you're
since
changing-
January 31st,
You're changing
2025.
the 24 hours, bro.
You
It's-
didn't even recognize
You
who
need
you
to at
were.
least
wanna
admit
do
that it's
fist fight?
reciprocal. I am not upset. You make
Yeah,
24
we can do
hours
that.
of non-stop content, bro.
Ethan,
24
you literally
hours
have
in the last 2
posted
months.
just on your own personal
We've
Instagram
talked about each other
stories
equally as much,
since
bro.
January
This whole
31st, 2025,
Two fist
110 stories. It was so insane, you didn't believe it.
Even if that's
No! You actually whooped my ass.
Love of God.
Hassan,
If
you talked about me 24 minutes a day,
Because I used the
every
breast.
day, 7 days a week for 60 days. Does that sound fucking reasonable?
You said fist fight. It's not I didn't violate the rules. See?
Wait, did
Let's
you?
do the.
You did fucking. I know what you did, you motherfucker.
Yeah, that's fair. Yeah, let's do brass knuckles.
You literally.
Why didn't you watch a bad empanada video about yourself?
I was actually using my fist.
Begging you to stop talking about
Woo!
it. So much so,
Isn't that kind of ironic? We're trash fighters and look where we're fighting.
Only talk about me.
Oh yeah.
That's what happened, right? Because you
it's
couldn't
not a
talk about
separate
it.
war
Your
room.
fans were fucking going, Ethan, we get it. He
My
sucks.
fans are fine,
Stop
bro.
talking
Don't worry
about
about
it.
No! How do you keep hitting
Every
me?
time you frame this as
Ow,
though
you're
it's
hitting
fucking
me.
drama.
It's not petty
As
drama.
though
You are.
it's
I just kept
drama.
kicking you for some reason. My dude said, "Take
And it
this,
only
take
took you
this."
now to fucking openly say,
Hold on, let me
"Intent
kill
goes
this
down,
fucking
it is a
redneck guy.
genocide,"
Can't mind
but
his own
also,
fucking
I don't want
business.
anyone
I've
to
said that
fucking resist
consistently
against
for
it.
years.
Better fuck off. Better not fucking kill him.
I just shot
I don't
him.
want anyone
Shot
to
at
resist
him.
against genocide.
Yeah.
It is a fucking untenable
You
position.
mean
It
kidnapping
makes
civilians?
no
You're
sense.
so pathetic, bro. Please.
And you constantly keep smearing me as a fucking anti-Semite at a time
do that
when the
today.
Trump
That's
administration,
a
at a
fist
time when the Trump
fight.
administration is blackbagging people.
Yeah,
I did
that's
not
right.
violate the
Don't
rules
call
like
me out.
that.
I
Don't
know.
Don't call me out. That's what you're doing.
Dude, how do you
Why
not
didn't you watch the
Make it
understand
equal.
that you are playing a formative role when you don't talk about Mahmoud Khalil?
Just remember,
You're playing
everybody
a formative
watching.
role when you don't talk about the mass starvation.
Yo.
By the way, I advocated for Kamala to get elected. What'd you do?
Ooh, what
I
did you
told you to vote for
do?
Kamala. What'd you do?
Oh,
No, seriously.
Oh,
What'd you do?
Ethan,
Did you?
Congratulations.
Do you think Kamala and Trump would have been equally
I
bad?
won't change anything from Joe Biden's policies, Harris.
Oh, you're actually
Biden,
using
it's
your
Kamala
fist.
Harris.
Not only did I go to the
It's
DNC, but
not.
I actually offered some pretty fucking valuable criticism
And
of
they
the
got
Democratic
kicked
Party
out,
that
by
they
the way.
didn't listen to, unfortunately.
Didn't they kick you out of the
because
DNC?
they didn't listen to that valuable criticism, they lost. Why have you lied about me voting for Jill Stein, by the way? Can we talk about
Who did you-
that?
I don't know.
Why
Who
the
did
fuck do you keep saying I voted for Jill Stein?
Who did
I
you
have
vote for?
countless hours shitting on Jill Stein.
I said I
told
think
people
you did.
not to vote for Trump.
I
I've
said-
said that Donald Trump is significantly worse than Kamala
why
Harris.
did why did
And I've
Ethan
also, on
pivot
top
to
of that,
this? Like
called Jill Stein
Ethan's
a
pivoted to
over
like
and
so
over
many
and over
things that
again.
like
But for some
like Hassan and
reason,
Ethan, they
despite the
both
fact that I
pivot to these
voted
fucking
live,
things.
mind you,
And you
kept
didn't say
lying
who
to your
for.
audience, and you kept lying to your audience.
I said
and
I
you
think.
kept making it seem
I
as
thought
though I
his
didn't
son
even
was
fucking
gonna
vote.
back
I
out.
urged people not to vote.
Because
There's
it really took like 30 minutes for it to start.
No, because I think Hassan sees himself as winning because
I got no
like
problem, but I think there's people in your
like
audience.
if I was Hassan's
No,
fan
I
base,
mean
I would
like
think
in the
Hassan's
very
winning.
beginning of the debate, when we were waiting, I was like, dang, it's been 30 minutes. I think he's gonna back out.
It's an
Oh, you
opinion.
think? Oh, you don't give a fuck, dude. It doesn't matter who I vote for anyway. You're out of your fucking mind. I did not endorse Kamala Harris, and I will never endorse Kamala
Well, you
Harris.
voted for her.
And I did not endorse Joe Biden.
And now Trump's
because
president.
you
Sounds
wanna
like
know
my
why?
dad.
Because you want to know
Trump's
why?
building the
It's
Riviera
fucking
in Gaza
embarrassing
Strip,
that
and guess
they-
what? You fucking love that
Thank
shit
you.
because you get to keep making content about it, and you get to keep making videos, and you guarantee there will never be peace there.
Someone's coming.
Acknowledge the trauma of both sides.
Oh, shit.
Two things
That's
must
what you
always be
think.
true,
How much
Hassan.
content have you made about Donald Trump?
Alex-
How much content have you made about fucking Donald Trump?
Oh, you guys came at the wrong time, bro.
We already won.
You guys came at the wrong time.
Listen to me.
Hold on. Clear them out. Make sure they're cleared out.
Something wrong and come back.
Alright, so they want to do that? Nah. Postpone the fist fight until after we make them leave.
Please, for your own mental sanity, stop trying to do this.
Oh, they left.
You are basically
They're leaving.
brain-breaking
They didn't
a
leave the
shit
game,
ton
but
of
they're
people.
They ain't
leaving.
getting away, that's for sure.
You clearly don't care about
Wanna
people
go after them?
who have actually voted for
I'm
Donald Trump.
already going after them.
Alright.
Voted for Donald
Who's
Trump,
my
okay?
allegiance? Who's my allegiance to?
What do you mean? You have fucking Trump supporters that you're friends with. Like, Steiny in general. When I have a conversation with
I
them,
like
actually
how they pivot to so many things. And Ethan's also done this shit too, so Ethan's just pivot to like Kamala Harris, like, okay. I thought we were talking about Israel Palestine.
You were just on Steiny's podcast, you hypocrite.
Is not actually Trump coded.
I spent hours
You're
shitting
doing
on
all
Steiny.
this because
You-
they don't.
just a liar.
Asmongold has been a valuable figure shitting on me this entire
What?
time, and that's the
He
only
used a
reason
rocket.
you act like he's not that significant.
He used the rocket back, killed him.
I say that.
You will take help from anyone and everyone.
I
got a bounty put on me.
You claim to care. You claim to care about rape, and you're hyping up a dude who has a segment on a show called Ultimate Rape Review. The reason why you're
Wait,
hyping
what
up
the
that
fuck?
dude is because you don't give a fuck.
Back up, Hassan. What the hell was that?
Content. Stop doing petty drama content, shut the fuck up about politics, and get back to goofs and gaffs. And it will be fine. People will forget that you have behaved in this way. But you don't want
See, Hassan, you know what he's saying? Get out of politics, quit politics. You see, that's what he means. They're like, listen, Ethan, your politics triggers me, and you know like.
By goddamn producers as a 40-year-old adult. That's the reason why people don't like
Oh, he always does the age thing, bro.
That's it.
Very
The
good.
40-year-old adult.
Bad on his videos about you.
Man, you could be 60-year-old. You'll still be in politics. Like, get that shit out of here. Look at the fucking president, dog. He's like, every time he gets out of office, he looks 70.
I'm out of my depth. I should have talked about
Yeah, and every time, and the president before him, he was fucking demented. So.
That's the real reason.
Uh-oh. Can you please contend with the Avi Schleim quote that they left not because of Zionism, but because of they were afraid?
Dude, come on, enough.
Bro, I swear to fuck it. Okay, you want to play that game, motherfucker? Jump this motherfucker. Jump him.
How did it go with Sam Cedar? I think if anything, Sam kind of embarrassed himself.
Yeah, Sam did not do well in that debate.
I genuinely do. I hate to say it because I like Sam.
A 40-year-old man he's a fucking button when he has like a little Disney moment.
Did I button?
He's actually the one who's talking about Sam Cedar embarrassing himself.
Did I button during that debate?
He lowered himself to talk to you man to man and tried to
That's what you wanted.
going on.
That's what you asked for. Why would you want to lower his status?
He's dipping because I was about to blow his ass up.
I didn't realize you were this fucking drama obsessed.
Drama obsessed? We had an argument about fucking South Africa apartheid. What's drama about that?
What?
You're fucking... Dude, listen,
I can't
enjoy...
What did you say?
It doesn't matter. Just remember, when it comes to criticism, I watch it.
Yes, Nelson Mandela was actually peaceful because you're going to clip chip the fucking shit that Loner Box told you.
Why was it... What?
The violent
His Loner Box.
Violent thing
See, he's another guy.
Were in the Truth and Reconciliation Committee attributed to...
I mean, let's say for the sake of the argument, even let's say Ethan got all his sources from Destiny and Loner Box. Let's say that as an argument. Okay, so what? Right, you still have to attack the art. What makes them wrong? What would be the thing that they say that's wrong? You can't just say, oh, you guys are... Okay, this guy.
Are you comparing the apartheid
This guy
structure in
keeps
South
fucking
Africa
killing me, bro.
76 years of colonial occupation?
Don't you do that all the time?
Oh my god, the cops are... Fucking save that dude in the jet!
The militancy has gotten far more radical as a direct consequence of Israel becoming far more radical. Because, as I told you, and you seemingly understood when we first had this conversation after October 7, that the maintenance of an apartheid is an inherently violent endeavor. And as a matter of fact, the resistance to said apartheid is only going to get worse and worse as time moves on. This is precisely the reason why the first intifada was popped with stones, little children throwing rocks, and the second intifada, in the aftermath of horrific acts of terror against Palestinians who were at a mosque praying.
I actually have facts. I have a historical quote. I'm not just grandstanding. Mandela, from his trial in 1960, said, and I quote, "There were 4 forms of violence that were possible. One was sabotage, one was guerrilla warfare, one was terrorism, and then there was open revolution. We chose to adopt the first method as it exhausted it before taking any other decision. In light of our political background, the choice was a logical one. Sabotage did not involve loss of life, and it offered the best hope for future race relations. Bitterness would be kept minimum, and if a policy bore fruit, democratic government could become a reality. This is what we felt at the time, and this is what we said in our manifesto. We have always sought to achieve liberation without bloodshed and civil clash. We hope, even at this late hour, that our first actions will awaken everyone to the realization that the disastrous situation which the nationalist policy is leading. We hope that we will bring the government and supporters to their senses before it's too late, so that both the government and its policies can be changed before matters reach the desperate state of war."
Notice how the end part of that is getting ready for rebellion.
Did they?
I feel like with
Did they?
Yeah, because the apartheid structure dissolved as a direct consequence of pressure campaigns and also
what a bitch,
which Nelson Mandela not once was twice.
What's Hamas doing for liberation?
Of having his sentence commuted, which he refused to do. They
On
said,
principle,
Nelson Mandela,
bro.
if you disavow
On
violence,
principle. He said, I will not remain in jail because a prisoner can't negotiate. A prisoner can't decide.
Yes, that was the
he
first
said
time.
no
And in both
times.
circumstances,
He refused
in
on
both
principle.
circumstances,
Less than
in both
100 people
circumstances,
died during the 20-year period.
This
They
fucking
were-
sniper,
anyone
bro.
that attacked civilians,
Yeah,
they
he's a
were
good sniper
they were
guy.
disavowed. The ANC repeatedly apologized and disavowed violence against civilians.
when did they do that?
Less than 100
Yeah,
civilians
of course
died.
he doesn't do well though.
Hamas killed 1,000 civilians on one
I'm
day.
good at the post-it.
1,000 civilians.
Yeah.
The poor civilian Israeli soldiers that died
No.
in their military
No,
bases. The
there was like,
civilians.
bro, you're so dumb. 300.
What do you mean I'm so dumb?
Okay, how many
Numbers
civilians
matter.
died? How many civilians died?
I believe the total number of casualties on October 7 was 1,200.
Yeah.
And 808 civilians, which is
Oh my god, I'm off by 100. I was off by 100.
Damn, he's good at
Oh my
sniping.
god, dude, I can't believe the historical inaccuracies.
Well, you
You're
just
an
made a
idiot.
big. You're the one who's bringing up numbers here, Ethan. And yes,
I
I
was
do think it's
virtually
important
correct.
to recognize something here that you are seemingly failing to recognize.
By the way, the
Nelson Mandela
military
was
soldiers who were killed, these were not like, not military, these were not like fighting combat soldiers. These are people who are like reserves, right? So they're not expected to fight at all. So these people who were killed, they're not like combat soldiers. But Hassan and the left, they don't make that distinction. So.
Revolution is inevitable.
Yeah, and I never said he's a
Violent revolution
pacifist.
They did do.
You know what's funny?
In terms of the death and destruction on the apartheid structure, by the
Was
way,
Nelson
it is
Mandela a Zionist?
incomprehensible to compare that to Israel's violence against the Palestinians.
Is that the
What Israel has
dude
done to
responsible for the
Palestinians is
Mandela
far worse.
effect?
And by the way, that's not my assessment.
No,
What
I think
Israel
it's
has
named
done to
after him, but no.
Palestinians
Nelson
for the
Mandela is a
past
different
76
guy.
years
He's this guy who led to South Africa's
Well,
liberation.
That
Someone
is
that
not
lived
my
through
assessment,
apartheid.
by the way. That is the assessment of Mandela, and for all the,
What?
for all of the moments that he was able
think
to fucking.
Mandela-
He's known for like, he's like the Martin Luther King of South Africa.
say
You could
that.
kind of see him like
It's on
that.
your
Why would
life.
he say that? Because it's true, Ethan.
Okay.
That's why.
Is Nelson Mandela a Zionist?
Yes, Nelson Mandela. Are you going to say in 1999 he said Israel has a legal right to exist?
More
in
than that.
same
He said
speech
more
that
than
you're
that.
fucking clip champs.
Remember that you called this guy a neo-Nazi.
Ethan
not
keeps
meant to
pulling
be
up the
dog
clips on
catcher.
Hassan.
That's what you said about
What?
Nelson Mandela.
Whoa, what are you talking
Yeah,
about? Whoa, 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 you're jumping off like a million different points.
The right
What?
of Israel to exist as a state legally. We have stood quite openly and firmly for the right of that state to exist within secured borders.
You disagree with that statement?
Israel has a right to exist,
With
not
the-
in the way that it currently does.
with the insecure borders.
Ethan, hold on.
See how vague he is? This is what he
Yeah,
does.
bro.
He just- yeah.
Bro,
Yeah.
you can hear it in his voice. He knows he's wrong, but then he misconstrues it to make it to where he looks like he's right.
Operation
No,
and Israeli
no,
borders are
no.
Not in the way it exists right now, like give a specific fucking answer. Just say yes or no, explain why.
If peaceful means of coexistence is impossible, then violence is inevitable, Ethan. Why did you click
Yeah, but he's
that
not he's not saying the Israeli state should be dismantled. He still says the Israeli state should have a right to exist. That is Nelson's point.
You cut him out of context.
No, I
Because other
he's a
people are
Zionist.
fucking
Fuck.
He's talking philosophically. He's talking
You just
philosophically.
did. You think it's irrelevant? We're having a conversation
I was
about
reloading.
Nelson Mandela and whether or not he actually believes in violence.
Sabotage-
Whether or not he
oh,
actually
God.
believes in violence. You have said time and time again that he was a peaceful dove. He's never actually done
No,
any
I
violence
literally
whatsoever.
didn't.
There are numerous
Die,
instances
bitch.
There are numerous instances on stream.
Inevitability of philosophical warning is not an endorsement. He was speaking as a warning to them, which was apt.
Bro, he just sniped me that quickly?
Insane.
That
Yeah,
quickly?
bro.
Oh, fuck.
This dude is like
2008.
either cheating or really good.
No, he's not cheating. He's not cheating. He's just like a snipe pro. Like he trains for snipe bullshit. And that's not my style of playing, because I fucking hate sniping in GTA.
Who do you think
I really
like
hate
sniping.
it too. Like,
Sniping in Call of Duty is better.
It's essentially fucking playing Call of Duty, bro.
Violent resistance, by the way.
Violent resistance? You mean sabotage?
Yeah, but Call of Duty is more realistic, arguably.
Call of Duty is dog shit now.
No, but it's like GTA is more shitty because you do that the fucking drag thing.
Palestine is free. That same
Well,
Nelson
yeah.
Mandela that you're trying to fucking use in this situation has said that this is a united struggle, that Israel's actions against the Palestinians are abhorrent, that it is akin to what he...
Nah, he's a fucking Taliban soldier. He's just fighting in the mountains, bro. Like, fuck this shit.
That you can make this comparison.
I want Palestine to be free, my friend.
Yeah, that's what he's doing. He's fucking fighting in the mountains.
The only way you can do that is by cutting it out of context.
No, I just explained why. Dude, I want Palestine to be free.
I got him!
You know what?
I got
don't
him in
think
his
Hamas is
fucking
bringing
insurgent.
that goal. I think Hamas is counterproductive. They're making it worse. They're causing it to be inevitable.
You refuse
to criticize them, which is pathetic. Unlike
Why are they
me,
making it
I'm
worse,
willing to
Ethan? Why are
criticize
they
the
making
Israeli
it worse?
government. I'm
Why are
willing
they
to come
making
to
it
terms with the cruel reality. Hamas.
Walk through it. Why are they making it worse?
Well, what was the fucking objective there on October 7th, genius?
Kidnapping, which by the way I don't even agree with, which is an international human rights violation, but kidnapping Israeli soldiers, Israeli civilians to make, to
and what part about that was slaughtering fucking families in their homes?
Ethan,
their goal is to kill civilians.
Tactics. You know this already. We're not relitigating.
Their goal is both to put a mass slaughter and to take some hostages as leverage. Like, it was both. So.
What do you think?
One day you're gonna
I don't know why they keep trying to say, oh, it's one thing. Why can't it be all?
For all the fucking harm that you've done.
Apologize? Alright.
Yeah.
Listen.
I have the rest of the clip that you clipped.
Let's go to the city.
I'm not hiding from it. I literally.
The city is our bread and butter
anyway. Why did you say that he was actually? Why did you say that he was actually a peaceful resistance type of guy?
When the fuck did I say that, you liar?
You said it on numerous occasions, as opposed
to...
You said that on numerous occasions before someone told you, no, actually, here's a better way to massage
that. You are a liar. I said he uses violent means to just sabotage.
I killed him in his vehicle!
Will you stop talking if I show you numerous instances where you have said Nelson Mandela was peaceful?
I'm not gonna... You get those together, okay?
I mean, there's...
You're gonna do great. You're gonna do great. Yeah, go ahead and grab
You literally said he was a pacifist.
I have literally never said Nelson Mandela was a pacifist. That is an insane lie.
You said it to Sam Cedar 2 days ago.
So you gotta watch that back, because you're once again a liar. You have no problem lying. You have no problem saying that I work with the ADL without any evidence. You fucking have no problem discrediting the suffering of Jewish refugees.
Nelson Mandela is a pacifist.
Okay, well, prove it.
And the full quote, by the way, of Nelson Mandela is from when he visited Gaza in 1999, that it was referring to choose peace rather than confrontation, except in cases where we cannot move forward. Then, if the only alternative is violence, we will use violence.
Yeah.
Yeah, but the problem is there was an alternative. That deal, the Palestinians could have signed a two-state solution where they could have got their own state in 2000 during the Camp David Accord. But Arafat, the leader of the movement, walked away because the Palestinians didn't like the deal because they wanted the entirety of the land. The problem is the Palestinians, they don't want to compromise. They want the entirety of the land. They don't want to have a two-state solution. They want to have the whole state as Palestine. So by that same logic, I could say Israel should just fight to the end. So, yeah.
Wait, is this the whole Free Palestine debate still?
He wanted to be as peaceful as possible.
Yeah, I mean, that was kind of the main point of it, like, you know, because like Israel and Palestine and all that.
Less than 100 civilians died in a 20-year period.
And then there's like, there's kids in Egypt. I know this because I play a game, right?
So sorry.
They'll be like, Free Palestine. Like, bitch, how much you want to bet you know nothing about that? Why are you even putting your 2 cents on it, you know?
Well, in Egypt, they know about Palestine. The thing about what I find
no,
ironic
I mean, like,
is
that the kids don't understand anything.
Yeah, because they're brainwashed by their parents, but that's not unique to Egyptians, that's everyone. So a lot of political kids are brainwashed on a lot of things, so. But the thing that what I find funny...
Oh, don't I know, because America's fucking far gone, dog.
With far less casualties on the South African side as
America nowadays is you're either this side or this side, but we're the special effect of we don't give a fuck.
Don't compare
As long
This
as
orange
you
guy, you want to
keep
get this orange
the
guy?
economy good.
He's trying to harass me.
No,
This orange guy.
just leave him.
No, he's harassing me. Like I can't.
Israel has killed every Nelson
I'm already
Mandela.
gone.
Israel would have probably killed Nelson Mandela if they had the opportunity to do so.
I'm sure they would have done everything bad that's ever happened in the world.
Wait, do you know why I said that?
Okay, what's your comeback? Your gut.
No, don't look at your laptop. Do you know why I said that?
Don't look at your laptop.
Tell me.
He's been looking at his laptop a lot, I'm not gonna lie.
Throw up a guess.
Alright, listen, it's 5 o'clock. I'm not doing this.
Yeah, because Ethan's not an expert at all. Ethan is a dum-dum. Well, it's just like, it's just that Hassan, like Ethan,
At least Hassan's prepared with some factual facts from his laptop, unlike
They're
Hassan.
both apartheids, so.
Yeah. And when did I deny that? All right, listen.
No, what I'm saying is,
like I said, I have a
Ethan
family to go to. I have 3 kids and a wife, and I know that
is like a newbie in politics, right? He only got into politics because, like, Hassan, really. So when they used to be co-hosts, and then when the whole Israel-Palestine stuff, that's when Ethan became more, you know, versed in that stuff.
He needs you more than you need him. Stop babying. Well, I know
But let's be real, at least he came prepared to the debate.
Okay, alright.
A little bit, there was, yeah. But, you know, the whole Israel genocide thing is kind of like...
I have a tremendous amount of respect for the group.
Hey, Madam Banana called AB a house slave.
What?
Madam Banana called AB a house slave.
Yeah, he's wrong. What the fuck do you want?
Okay, well, you watch his videos a lot.
Why are you bringing up Bad Empanada? Do you think I agree with everything he says? No, of course not.
You endorse him.
Ethan,
alright, we gotta go. You promote him all the time, that's a fact.
That I agree with, that I think are very well thought out.
Alright,
I don't
listen, stop being a coward and watch some fair criticism.
Overall.
Hassan said they're very well thought out when he agrees with me.
That you are not afraid.
This was pretty good. This was pretty productive. You know, having this conversation.
He used a goddamn rocket launcher. What a pussy, bro.
I think you exposed yourself deeply a few times here, and I think we'll have to wait and see, obviously, how this pans out.
Yeah.
But I do think it was productive to show just kind of the blatant, overt, you know, anti-Semitism.
Maybe I will watch the Context Puke.
Yes, please, and then we can talk about it.
Maybe I will watch the Context Puke live, as a matter of fact,
please
not in a cowardly way. I like that this is what it's come to, where having a face-to-face conversation is less. Is somehow less fucking is more cowardly than like actually watching a YouTube video that you made. No, dude. What's cowardly is you fucking constantly crying and refusing to actually look for context and putting together putting together shit that you saw on fucking subreddits to be like, this is my argument.
Just watch
I'm
it
destroying it.
Watch it and tear it up and show how out of context it was. I'd love.
Don't worry. Maybe I'll actually do that to fundraise for the charities that you are actively targeting by trying to undermine and celebrate with Creator Clash 3, which is,
I don't know if you noticed, but the last year they lost $250,000. To be charitable, you actually have to give money to charity.
You fucking hate everybody that has even lightly fucking criticized you or stayed out of.
Are you surprised that I didn't like Ian's video?
What? No, dude.
Dude, if you want to own me, listen, Hassan, if you want to own me by donating to charity, I think that's fantastic.
You're gloating that a fucking charity event is actually, like, you're trying to undermine a charity event deliberately.
You have to give money to be charity. It's like a slush fund for them.
God, that's so gross, man.
I mean, what happened last year? How much money did they do charity last year?
I don't know.
They lost $250,000.
Will you debate me again, Ethan, if you keep chirping in the future?
Yeah, of course. But if you, I think it would be good if you watch the content puke.
Maybe I will.
And then we can discuss it.
Maybe I'll do that to fundraise for Creator Clash.
Yes, I think it's awesome. If you want to own me by donating to charity, I think that's sick as fuck.
Yeah, maybe you should do that too. You know, donate some pro-Palestinian charities. I'll feel so fucking owned.
Let's own each other and donate to charity.
All right.
I know you guys fucking, I know you guys hate each other, but the views were crazy.
It was? I never looked.
Saying, think about it.
What was the views at? I never looked.
They're pretty good on both ends. Like 100K.
Whose was higher?
You see, that's the reality behind this, right?
Yeah.
You see, Jackson? It's all about the views. Ethan and Hassan.
I don't know what you guys had over there. I wasn't looking.
Bro, that dude just literally called it out. The views were pretty good. Alright, so y'all did this for views.
Yeah, it's just all show, really. That's all it is.
No, for
like,
sure. Ethan, please.
it's just also like, you know, fucking...
As though you feel that there is a genocide going on. Because you're
like, he just does these moralistic bullshit shows to get the tug of the heartstrings.
I
and
acknowledge that I can talk about it more, and I should make more of an effort to talk about it.
Okay, thank you. Instead of going after...
And you should try not to be a fucking raging anti-Semite for a day.
What?
If you can try not to be a raging anti-Semite for a day, then we can shake hands.
Ethan, I don't think you actually believe that I'm anti-Semitic. I think you're...
You should watch back the first part of this interview.
What?
You should watch back the first part of this interview. That is...
I think Ethan's been leaning too hard on the anti-Semitic. Like, it's not the hill I would die on. Me personally, I don't care. I don't care about Hassan being like anti-Jewish. So what?
All I'm
like,
saying is Hassan needs to debate you.
I'm sure
It's
that...
not a swastika.
oh god, it would
It's
be.
just a swastika sword.
Dude, I would set that up in a way where
I
like,
called the swastika sword.
like we'll be like, okay, so.
Hassan.
We'll get
you think it's
people
wrong?
to do more. We'll get more moral nihilists. That's for sure.
Old friends, together at last.
Not instantly, but there will definitely be some people.
Yeah.
Like I'll be like, okay, so Hassan, do you think it's wrong to kill, like, you know, because Hassan's like a wokey, so like I think like of like ethnic minorities or like, you know, yeah, like, do you think it would be wrong to kill gay people? Do you think it'd be wrong to kill black people? Blah blah blah. And you say yes, of course. And it's like, okay, where do you derive that wrong from? Where do you derive that idea that's bad, right? And then he'll be kind of like, you know, he's gonna stumble through the
He's gonna do what he says, and he's gonna do what he's been doing, and try to bring up something else on you.
No, he can't, because we're gonna be talking about morals. I'm not gonna be talking about Palestine and Israel. I don't give a fuck about that. I'm gonna be talking about his morality. There's nothing he can pivot to. I'm gonna be like, what? How can you prove that morals are true, right? And it's like, if he can't prove that morals are true, then he's like, you know. But I don't think it's a topic he's interested in.
You would have to like debate him, and then like somewhat try to steer the conversation toward
I also
morals.
liked how he like.
Yeah.
Whatever. People will analyze this.
So he mixes like we talk about Israel, Palestine, or some other issue, right? And then we slowly steer that to like morality, where like when he mentions it's immoral what Israel's doing, like, okay, what is immoral? What do you define as that? And then like get his answer. What is wrong? What is good? How do you know it's good or wrong? What makes it wrong? Like, where do you derive that? Blah blah blah. And then, you know, that'll be the tumbleweed for him.
For that chicken and someone to make it for him too.
Yeah, they're done debating.
All right, everybody. Well, thanks for watching. Thank you to the awesome, loyal,
You're welcome.
genius, caring 100,000 that watched on our stream, not Hassan's.
Oh, see, we watch on his stream.
And
Yeah, we could have watched on Hassan's.
I don't know.
I bet you go to Hassan's chat right now, you're gonna see Hassan fans be like,
Bro, if we would have watched Hassan, we would have had to watch his ads and give him money. So
Yeah.
I'm glad I watched it on Ethan's, because he didn't put any ads except the ad that he was
it's Friday.
doing
in the beginning, the advertising.
Good evening. TT, ta-ta for now. We'll see you guys on Monday. Bye-bye. Have a
All
good
right, bye,
weekend.
Ethan.
And maybe it's Friday for Gabe.
Okay, that was like a disastrous shit fest. Holy fuck.
for both of them. Holy fuck.
Like let me contextualize. Like, it was no matter what, it was always going to be personal because they had a huge personal beef. So it was impossible for it to be civil. I knew that. It's just like there were things where like Ethan was focusing too much on like some personal stuff, and you know, it's just like him pivoting to some other issues. Like Ethan talked like, oh, did you vote for Kamala Harris? Blah blah blah. And
yeah,
it's
he
like,
brought up Kamala Harris for no reason. Like, and then he's like, if you would have endorsed Kamala, she might have won. Bitch, no, she wouldn't have. Not everybody watches streamers and vote.
No, what I'm saying is, no. He's not saying that. He didn't say that if Hassan voted for her, she would have won. What he's saying is that
He
no, he's not.
No, hold on.
No,
hold on.
I don't think he. No, I think that's.
I remember.
Replay.
I remember hearing.
I don't think that's what he's saying.
If you would have maybe endorsed her, Trump probably wouldn't be president right now. That's what he literally said.
I don't think he said that. No, I don't remember him saying that. What I remember him saying is that
you don't remember him, but I remember him saying.
I don't think that's what he said. No, it's like replay that shit because from what I can recall, is what his point was that if Harris won, right, Harris would be a better option for the Palestinians than Trump. That would be Ethan's argument. That's what he was saying. He was saying it like as an argument that like Kamala Harris is like the lesser of two evils or whatever, and he was showing that Hassan, like, you know, oh, the fact that you didn't vote, like the fact that you didn't support someone who was a better alternative to the country, blah blah blah, shows your hypocrisy, blah blah blah. Like, I think that's what Ethan was trying to get at. I don't think Ethan said like, oh, Harris. If Hassan voted for Harris, then Harris would have won.
Oh, I was gonna say, because that was kind. I thought I heard if you would have endorsed Harris, she probably would have won.
No, I don't think he said that. What I think, you know, is that like, because Hassan talks about like making, like, you know, Hassan doesn't make any political change. Hassan doesn't do anything. The most he does is he did some charity and he showed up to one protest, and that's pretty much it. Because he got called out multiple times why he doesn't show up to protest, why he doesn't help workers, why he doesn't do anything. You know, why does he practice? What does he practice? What he preaches about? Why does he not try to encourage more socialism? And, you know, and he doesn't, you know.
I don't know, but that debate was a disaster for both of them.
Yeah. And both sides are going to be coping for their side, you know. It's just like way too emotional. Like in
Both
Israel,
of
Palestine stuff.
Both of them.
Israel.
I feel like Ethan had a bone to pick because of the stupid content cop.
Well, yeah, that's true because but keep in mind, I want to be very clear. Like, a lot of these people in the content cop were people who were personally spreading misinformation about him mistreating his children. And there was one guy who was not in the content cop, but one guy who Hassan was watching and enjoying, and the guy Bad Appanetta, he's the one who called CPS on Ethan's children. So
yeah,
they were trying to get Ethan's
I also
children.
seen a video where he's like, Ethan, you're gonna pay, motherfucker, all creepily and all that.
Yeah, so I understand why Ethan would be mad that Hassan Hassan was his friend, and instead of defending him, he just was you know, enjoying critiquing Ethan, and it's kind of like, I understand from a psychological level why, you know, that would kind of like fuck you up and all that shit. So it's just that, like, for a lot of people who may not understand the context, it's better to just be calm and collective and not try to get too emotional about that shit. But, like, you know, the context is important because, like, they were trying to, Bad Appanetta and some other guys, they were calling CPS so they can get his kids removed. They can get his children removed. And one of the people in the content cop thing, Denims, right? She's one of the most retarded people ever. She said, oh, the kids, they don't develop a memory.
Oh, yeah, like, I know. I seen that. And then she immediately got fucking fact-checked. And it said they literally start developing memories at the age she said.
Yeah, but she contradicted herself. She just proved her point. Like she said because his children are 3 to 5. It's like, oh, they won't remember it. Like she said they won't remember they won't remember the trauma, right? That was her argument. And it's like, number one, that's not even true because children start forming memories.
First of all, why are you trying to cause trauma to a child?
No, but she's saying they won't remember it. But it's like, one, children start to formulate memories around 3 to 5. So the age range that Ethan's children are, that's the age they would formulate memories. So they would most certainly memorize as a traumatic experience. Number two, even if we were to hypothetically say that's true, nobody uses that as an argument because by that same logic, could I justify pedophiles raping babies? Because they won't remember it, so that's the same logic. Like,
yeah, it's technically the same logic. If they don't formulate memories, then you know those PDF files are totally in the right when they do that to infants because they won't remember it.
Yeah, exactly. There's nothing wrong with it because, you know, it's a baby. It won't remember anything. So that's Dennis. So even if that was
shut the fuck up, bro. I took a long ass nap and y'all fucking loud as fuck. Like shit.
You did not even take a nap, bitch.
Nigga, I just woke up.
Then mute us. I didn't even know you were asleep.
I just woke up out here.
Well, you missed the debate and So.
I thought you were like somewhere else.
Yeah, I thought you were gone.
I fell asleep.
Oh, I didn't know.
You fell asleep
Juan, were you
for
here?
30 minutes waiting for us to come back.
Hell yeah.
I didn't even know you. Like, I was saying, Juan, are you here? Juan, you're here. You didn't even answer it. I was like, okay.
I'm here now.
Well, yeah, you're here now.
We're on
you were always here. You were just sleeping.
GTA though. GTA is dead.
It is.
Yes, dead.
It's got to
That's
be
why we love
alive
it.
for one more year.
Yeah, it gotta be alive.
Brother.
You have no choice.
I'm about to battle pass on Fortnite and not betting on Fortnite.
We can do
Battle Pass
Fortnite, that's
on
fine.
Fortnite, dude.
I could do Fortnite.
No, I don't want to do Fortnite.
How come?
Star Wars. Star Wars.
I don't have Star Wars.
Oh, Fortnite is the season Star Wars.
Again?
Yes, again.
Who is it? Who are the characters? Tell me.
Palpatine's in a Jar Jar.
The
Binks,
PDF
Mace
file
Windu.
and the worst character in the whole series. No, thank you. The most annoying character at that.
General Grievous is here.
These are not the most annoying. These Jar Jar Binks are the best character. What the fuck are you talking about, Jackson?
Okay, you want to go on Fortnite? Let's go on Fortnite.
Let's go to Fortnite.
Me and Jabril are just chilling on GTA anyway.
Oh my god, it even has Palpatine in the logo, bro.
I have all the kids now. All the children.
Alright, let's go.
Palpatine, Jar Jar has the red saber.
Yeah, he does.
We're confirming he is a Sith Lord.
Oh my god, so the theories were correct. The theories that Jar Jar was a Sith Lord were correct. No wonder why he was a bumbling idiot the entire time.
He wasn't an idiot. He was pretending to be.
Didn't he cause to where Palpatine
Yeah, he literally
got
he's
into
the
power?
one who called. He's the one who called for Palpatine to have emergency powers to be dictator. So he's literally the one who granted him that power. And I think what George Lucas intended was Jar Jar was just retarded, but like fans were making these theories saying, "Oh, Jar Jar Binks is like the secret mastermind behind the scenes," that it became so popular that I guess they're like,
made that canon, bitch.
yeah, they're like, yeah, they're like, make that canon. Oh, I skipped the cutscene. Watch it if Jar Jar Binks is in there.
All right. Yes, I am the narcissist. Oh, they got the black dude too.
Mace
that's not
Windu.
racist.
Mace Windu.
It is racist because they gave him the purple lightsaber still.
No, actually, he chose to have a lightsaber.
No, but the joke is like they gave the writers, they gave him a purple lightsaber, so it's kind of like, you know.